All right, so we're going to talk about identifying congruent triangles. So we've got lots of cool pictures up here. So let's see if we can get those. There we go. All right, so on triangles, you'll see notations. This notation, of course, tells us that this is a right angle, 90-degree angle. This notation here tells us that this side over here that has the same two tick marks is congruent to this side over here that has the same two tick marks. So you can say that side A is congruent to side C, and what that means, congruent means, is that whatever the length of side C is, let's say 10, then side A is also going to be 10. All right, for angles, they would have some type of congruency mark, maybe one arc, or they'd both have two arcs. Here you see that they have one arc and a little tick mark, one arc and a little tick mark. So if this angle Z was 30 degrees, then this angle X right here would also be 30 degrees because they have the same tick marks, therefore they are congruent. All right, let's see. The next thing, let's take a look at congruency statements up here. All right, a congruency statement is a fact. It is saying that this triangle right here in this order, angle A, angle B, angle C order, is congruent in every way to this triangle over here, DEF, in that order. It has to be in that order because just from the congruency statement alone, I can see that angle A, which is right here, single arc, is congruent to angle D in the other triangle right there, a single arc. Angle B in the middle, see it has three arcs right there, is congruent to angle E because it's also in the middle. And you can see over here, it has three arcs. And then angle C and angle F are congruent to each other. Both have the double arcs. I can also tell just from the congruency statement that the side AB right here, AB, first two letters, corresponds and is therefore congruent to side DE in the other triangle. So here's AB, double tick mark, and here's DE, double tick mark. All right, BC side is congruent to EF side. There we go. Here's BC. Here's EF. And then AC. AC, this side right here, is congruent to DF. Side DF. So just on the congruency statement alone, you can tell which angles and which sides correspond and are therefore congruent to each other. All right, you'll also see in this lesson are some vocabulary words. The reflexive property of congruency says, hey, a triangle is going to be equal to itself, of course. So if I say triangle KLS is congruent to triangle KLS, that's called reflexive property. So if I say angle L is congruent to angle L, reflexive property. Symmetric property, so it doesn't matter which side of the congruency statement a triangle's name is on, they're going to be congruent. So if I say triangle KLJ is congruent to triangle QPR, then if I say it backwards, triangle QPR is also congruent to triangle KLJ. All right, once again, these are just vocabulary words. You're going to see these being used throughout this lesson with triangles. So transitive property saying if these two triangles are congruent to each other, and this second triangle here is congruent to a third triangle, then the first and the third triangle have to be congruent, okay? So if these two guys are congruent to each other, and these two are congruent to each other, then that means these two are congruent to each other, and that's transitive property. And we'll talk more about those definitions later. Okie dokie. All right, triangles are congruent. You can click there to get a definition of congruent. It says equal in size and shape when all corresponding sides and interior angles are in fact congruent. Equal in size and shape. You've got a video here. You've got some notes you can click on to get some more information. What is congruency? We've talked about transformations and congruent transformations in the past. You can click here for some more information on congruency. All right, here's a triangle. Right here, you can identify side 4 and side 4. This one is 5 and 5, 7 and 7. So just by the side measures alone, you can see that these two triangles are in fact congruent. And even though it's flipped in the opposite direction, this is still the same sides. Okay. Alrighty. These two aren't congruent. This one is 4, 5, 7, where this one is 5, 6, 7. So they do have to be the exact same size, the exact same shape. All right, and then you can also see here some corresponding angles. Here's angle right here, 40, corresponds with this angle 40 because they're both 40. Angle 110, angle 110, and angle 30 corresponds with angle 30. All right, and these aren't necessarily congruent, but we're just looking at the congruent angles. The corresponding angles are definitely marked congruent. All righty, let's see. And here's those markings again. 3 tick marks. So he corresponds with this one. It says 3 tick marks, single tick mark, single tick mark. So just on the markings, you can tell which sides and which angles correspond. All right, let's go back to the lesson. Let's see what else we have. Here's some math bits, some notes on congruent markings. So you could read that one if you want to, right there. Shows you some more information and written out information. All right, and then here's some practice here you can go to. All righty, so this says if these two triangles are congruent, what angle is congruent to angle B? So B is in the middle, A is in the middle. There you go. And you can get immediate feedback on this. All right, suppose these two triangles are congruent. What angle is congruent to G? G's on the end, E's on the end. There you go. All righty, let's see what else we have here. Here's another practice we can go to. All right, you've got these two triangles. It wants to know which side is congruent to side BC. So this one is 3 units long, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means each box is like a half. So that would make 1, 2, 3. So that would be corresponding to right here, this side right here. So we have to say it correctly. So that's B, which is in the corner. That's E in the corner. They started with B. That's a nice right angle right there. We have to start with E. So we would say side ED. So that would be an A there. Let's see if we can just put an A in there. See how that works. Angle ABC. Here's angle ABC. And that corresponds with angle FED. Okay, because they said A. Then they went down this long side here that is 4 units long, not the diagonal one. Nice straight vertical. And then they went over this direction to C. So we have to go on the same path to identify our pieces correctly. So we have FED. So triangle, angle FED. There it is. And that is D, letter choice D. Alrighty, and then side AB right here corresponds with side, and you have to say it correctly. A would correspond with F because we know B and E correspond. So if they said AB, we have to say FE. So side FE is right here. That's a C. All right, the hypotenuse of the triangle ABC is side AC. So there it is, letter choice B. And then this hypotenuse right here for the other triangle is DF. Let's see where that one is. There it is right there. G, letter choice G. All right, and then side side of the triangle DEF in that order measures 5. That's right here. So that would have to be this one. This side measures 5 because if that one's 3, that's 3. If this one's 4, that's 4. And therefore, both of these would be 5. So that would be this side right here, DF. Let's see. Side of, I think it's saying which side of triangle DEF measures 5 centimeters. The side of DEF measuring 5 centimeters is side DF, which is G. Oops, I think I messed this one up. The right angle. Oh, the right angle. My bad. That's an angle. I was saying side. So that would be angle FED. So that would be a letter choice D. There we go. All right. And then we have angle ACB. ACB. So that would correspond with FDE. FDE. Same order. So that's F. All right, and then angle CAB corresponds with, this one said CAB, so that would be DFE. So that'd be E. Let's see how we did there. I guess we have to go through all of these in order to get a feedback on this one. I can't tell what's down here. All right, anyway, that's what you're doing here. So this one's you're matching your properties that we just went over at the top. This question right here is asking you to identify corresponding pieces. What is the value of X? Since these two triangles are in fact congruent to each other. Alrighty, this one down here is asking you to write out the congruency statement. Just make sure you start with the first one and then you match up this congruency statement with this one, matching up the pieces, okay? And this question is identifying corresponding angles just based on the congruency statement. And then this question is identify corresponding sides just based on the congruency statement. I went through all of those with you. All right. If you have any questions, let me know.